Welcome back to In Ohio Country today. Big Dan Wilson alongside of Nick Zachrich here at Farm Science Review. Actually, it's pre-review, and that's what we're here today to talk about. This year's 2026 Farm Science Review. How many years is it now, Nick?
Well, this is the 64th show, Dan.
Yeah, unbelievable. And, you know, the various locations, or at least the two locations that it's been, it really makes a difference being here at the Molly Cairn Agricultural Center, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's actually 44 here. It was only 20 years at Don Scott Airfield. So
Yeah.
Molly Cairn Ag Center, now it's 44 years.
And it's unbelievable how it's grown, not only from the standpoint of the size, literally, of its footprint, but of the participants and the people who come to Farm Science Review.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. When we moved to this site from the old site, we went from a 40-acre exhibit area to 80 acres. And inside the fence right now is actually closer to 90 acres with our ride and drives and,
Wow.
and antique tractor clubs that are to greet you when you come in the gate.
Yeah. You know, one of the things we fail to talk about, too, is all the activity that happens before the review or after the review. It's not something that just takes place that week in September. It's something that happens all year round. And just today, for example, we got some video of the K building being taken down, some activity with some other construction equipment. Why don't we talk about some of those other activities before we get into this year's review that you guys have out here?
Yeah, the facility at the Molly Cairn Ag Center, we use it all year round for different events. Of course, nothing quite as big as Farm Science Review, but different companies will rent it. There's every once in a while, Ohio State University Extension educators will use it for some type of field day. The Ohio Agribusiness Association partners with Extension to put on a certified crop advisor a field day ahead of time. So the plots that we've been in, talk about, hopefully pretty much every year, talk about these plots as people come in. It's getting used more than once a year, so that field day gives an opportunity for them to talk about some of those projects and research opportunities that are really around the state, but here on demonstration.
And we always talk about the Gwen Conservation Area. There's a really beautiful room over there, too, if you wanted to rent that and do something special for your business, or if you have something that's ag-related, people can rent that out as well, right?
Yeah, any type of educational event. It doesn't even necessarily have to be agriculture, but, preferable. But Soil and Water does some presentations there, USDA. There's different classes within Ohio State or different committees that come out and use our cabin. Sometimes just for a retreat. It does have some Wi-Fi, availability there. Cell phone service is pretty good, but it is just away from the office, so some people like to do that, meet up with their team and just have a day to be able to brainstorm, think, and just have meetings usually. But yeah, great facility for just a group of 40 or less.
Well, speaking about the office, we're right outside of the headquarters, if you will, the main office on the campus of Farm Science Review at the Molly Cairn Agricultural Center here in London, Ohio. The activities are rolling. Like I said, we're only a few weeks away from Farm Science Review, and that means making sure we're crossing the T's and dotting the I's. So what can we expect at this year's Farm Science Review?
Yeah, so this is where it all happens, where we put it all together, Dan, here in the office. And so we have our digital directory that gets put together with all our exhibitor registrations, and that's helped us build our program too. So we still have a printed program and we have the digital directory. So both of those resources are great for planning ahead. The program is going to be available online on our website when it is complete here in just a couple of weeks. And that digital directory is actually going to go live this week. So you can start planning now really for that. You can find information about the exhibitors that are coming. You could do keyword searches on things in that digital directory and also find some of the sessions and things like that. So you can plan out pretty much your whole trip to Farm Science Review there. If you come one day or all three, you're going to be able to find the information you need to make it most valuable for your time. We know that a lot of people are getting busy this time of year to do their own harvesting or different projects around their farms. But you can come see it all happen demonstration-wise here this time of year for Farm Science Review. So making it out here can definitely become an economic boon for you. You can have a great experience looking at the demonstrations and all the exhibitors we have to make your farm just a little bit better.
You know, one of the things, too, that I've noticed, we talk about all the changes that happens, and we talk about technology. You guys have really embraced that when it comes to communicating with the general public before, during, and after the event. So let's talk about the different social media and the different things that you've done, including a beautiful new website, fsr.osu.edu.
Yeah, the organization of that hopefully makes it a lot easier for everybody to find the information that they want about Farm Science Review. Yeah. So, it's not just finding the schedules and the information that way, but a lot of people have just questions about, am I able to bring a golf cart? Can I what does it cost anything to park, or just those details that everybody wants to know beforehand. You can find that information pretty easy on our website at fsr.osu.edu. Find a lot of the information on Facebook too. The Facebook seems to be the most popular social media platform that our
Yeah.
audience gets on. But it's also, we repost a lot of that information on Instagram, on TikTok. LinkedIn is another one for us. So if you're out there in the business world, we're on LinkedIn as well. You can find information there about exhibiting and things like that. If you have a company that you think is going to fit in well with us at Farm Science Review. So Facebook by far is what we experience the most engagement from, and not that we focus on that completely, because all the other platforms are important too, because there's an audience there. But Facebook just seems to grow each year. We get a little bit more followers and engagement on some of the posts there. So the information about Farm Science Review is most popular, but some of the videos that come out, even just throughout the year, are entertaining for a lot of people. Some of the
No
equipment that we
question.
use on the farm
Yeah.
and what's going on. Some people just like to see the videos to see what the crops look like, and it does pretty well. So we really appreciate everybody following us on Facebook. We also have a newsletter we're starting to. So some people have found that last year, but we're really kind of start pushing that
That's
as an
great.
opportunity for people to stay connected and learn about what's going on. So if you're one of those people that want to buy online tickets ahead of time and find that information, we'll send you the email to remind you that, hey, now they're available, and you can get that pre-sale price instead of paying at the gate.
One of the things too that I'm impressed with is your team. I mean, you can't do it alone. There's a lot of people that are out here. They're zipping by us during all these interviews we've had today, getting ready for this year's Farm Science Review. But like I said, you can't do it alone. You have a great team behind you. So let's talk about all those guys and gals that make it happen behind the scenes.
Yeah. We definitely have a team, and we have a full-time staff. We also have some part-timers, and then volunteers, and a huge long list. But I'll start with a few people. We met Greg Labarge a few times doing some interviews here. He's our superintendent of the Molly Cairn Ag Center, so he's a great leader for us.
Hmm.
And we also have some other managers that are doing a great job. Our farm manager is Nate Doritas. He has assistant manager Michael Schmid. And on the farm also with them is Jacob McCarty. They're doing making all the crops happen, making all the field demonstrations
Wow.
happen, lining up everything to make sure that that goes on without a hitch. During field demonstrations, during Farm Science Review. So they're not only doing the operations throughout the year, but during the show, they're really a part of the team as far as the event goes too. Here in the office we have Allie Friesen. She's been with us for a really long time.
Yeah.
And she's done a great job. She just knows what to do. She does everything. She does HR. She does finance stuff. She does a little bit of everything.
Wears a lot of hats.
Yeah. And we have a student working for us right now. Her name's Olivia, and she does a great job too. And she helps Allie with just about everything it is with communications and the details of making it all happen. But then we also just have a huge extension team that gets involved with this. Our assistant director for extension is Chris Zoller, and he has a great staff of people. A whole bunch of educators. I'm not even sure how many educators are on them. So we have educators
Wow.
in most counties for ag and natural resources now. So doing a good job there. And then we also have the specialists as well for the education. They do a lot of research also with that, split appointments and all those things. And some of them are even professors on campus and other things too. But,
Wow.
it's just a huge team. We have a lot of volunteers, and I just can't probably name all of them. So I probably shouldn't name too many of them, because don't
Well,
leave
that's
anybody out.
yeah. You don't want to leave anybody out, because I'm sure everybody's given 110% getting ready. But one of the things you did mention is the education aspect of Farm Science Review. Everything from the small farms to ask the experts. There's a lot of things that you can learn here, and education is a true key when it comes to being a good producer, being a good farmer, being a profitable producer. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what you guys provide.
Yep. Yeah, they do a great job. You mentioned small farms, and,
Yeah.
and they're taking a little pivot from what they usually do. They have some great presentations there, but they're looking more into the demonstration side of things.
Oh,
So
nice.
on the small ruminant side, they're doing some things, and even like on the poultry, like the backyard poultry things. So you don't have to be a huge producer to find something valuable here at Farm Science Review, or maybe you're diversifying your farm a little bit and you want to add some small flock of some poultry. So those are some things you'll find at small farms, and just a lot of good resources there. And they're going to show you how to do a lot of those things now too, and not just have a display or have a presentation about it. They want to show you how some of these things are done. And
That's awesome.
yep.
Yeah, so the Ohio Agribusiness Association has always had kind of a career day too. Are they doing that again this year?
Yep. Yeah, there's another career fair
Neat.
this year.
That's
It's on
awesome.
Wednesday. Yep, 10 to noon. So some of those are not our exhibitors, but they are OABA members.
Right.
So if they want to get involved, we do allow other people to pay to come in. But for the career fair, any Farm Science Review exhibitor or any OABA member can participate in that career fair. There's a lot of students that come through there, because we have a lot of students that come in our gates at Farm Science Review. We're in the 8,000 range of students that come into the show. And a lot of them will come through the career fair also, but it is for anybody that wants to look for a career change or talk to some of these companies. There's a lot, a lot of cooperatives within OABA's membership and others. So there's a lot of good opportunities there, and just any of our exhibitors, a lot of equipment companies and seed companies, research, all those different aspects of agriculture can come and participate. We'll have a few dozen exhibitors there in the career fair.
Yeah, you also have a building totally dedicated to the Ohio State University where people can come in and get more information about being a student. You have Central State University here. You have a lot of opportunities for those young people to come in to not only maybe see if they qualify for a job right now, but to learn about what they can do to educate themselves to be prepared to serve the industry here in the Buckeye State.
Yeah, a lot of opportunities. It hasn't been that long ago where it was kind of Wilmington and Ohio State were the two ag schools, and now there's so many more opportunities. And I think a lot of schools have really focused in on rural areas and communities. UNOH is a great example. They've been an exhibitor for a long time.
Very much so.
So if you have a student at home that is really good with their hands, likes to work and run wrenches, then UNOH might be an opportunity. We have some opportunities, of course, with Ohio State, but at Worcester, we have our ATI campus at Worcester, and there's great opportunities there from some two-year degrees. So there's not a lot of universities that have less than a bachelor's degree. And fortunately, at Ohio State, at ATI specifically, we have a two-year program for somebody that doesn't want to go to school for 4 years. So a lot of different opportunities depending on the range of schooling that if you're a student out there, or if you have a young person in your life that you know that maybe a 4-year college or master's program or doctoral program is not right. Well, Ohio State, we do have a 2-year program. And if you just want resources to find whatever you're doing in the workforce, we do have some educators in extension that really specifically focus on workforce development. And they're here to help and participate at the career fair and our student engagement center too.
And you never know who you're going to run into here at Farm Science Review. It seems like every year we'll get an appearance from a governor or a political official. We've been so fortunate enough to meet guys like Vice President J.D. Vance, for example, or Vivek Ramaswamy last year. So you're not only going to get the opportunity to meet them up close, but the commodity groups and the people who sponsor them and bring them here really showcase the fact that we need to get more involved with that connection between politics and agriculture. And that's important.
Yeah. There's a lot of different details there. Our farm office team, we have some great educators that are talking about the legal aspects of things, and politics gets involved in a lot of different aspects of agricultural industry. And there's a lot of things going on in neighborhoods right now with new technology and land uses and all those things. So what are the legalities of different uses of the land? Whether you're for or against different uses of land, there's some information that you'll be able to find, and that goes hand in hand with politics sometimes. So yeah, there's some information there that can be gleaned through Extension and through Ohio State University. And we're here to stand in the middle, I guess, is kind of like that research and education opportunity to what are the good aspects of things and what are the negative aspects of things, and help navigate those different options that people have.
We also want to recognize some of the people who get awards here for their stewardship. Also awards for the Hall of Fame. You just recently had the Hall of Fame dinner, and of course our own Gary Jackson was honored last year. Let's talk a little bit about that, about giving back and recognizing those people who are good stewards of the land and those people who preserve, protect, and do their best to advance agriculture here in the Buckeye State.
Yep. Yeah, we have some great award programs, and the Farm Science Review Hall of Fame is really specific to Farm Science Review, the conduct of that, being able to put this show on each year, and who were the people that really laid the framework and groundwork to be able to make it what it is now. And we've had some great exhibitors, great media, great employees at Ohio State University that go above and beyond what their normal job duties are just to make sure that this goes on as well as it does, and even better, than the year before. So what an awesome group of people. And then we also have, the Farm Conservation Awards that are held here. Not an award that we hand out, but Soil and Water does a great job with that program and finding farm families that just do an excellent job of conservation on their land.
And finally, let's talk about the Department of Agriculture. It's nice that officials from the Department of Agriculture are here to talk about exactly what we just discussed, land use, H2 Ohio program, all the various programs and opportunities for businesses to get involved through the Department of Agriculture. We were very fortunate to be down at the Department of Agriculture in Reynoldsburg for their Ohio Proud program, and where they feature those people who are producing agricultural products here in the Buckeye State. So having that connection with the Department of Agriculture is essential here at Farm Science Review as well.
Yep. Yeah, they have great people that work in their departments there that work with us directly. So, Director Baldridge, when he came into office, he really made a specific effort to come out and have a conversation,
Right on.
with Ohio State in general, but our college specifically, and even here at Farm Science Review about what their presence is here. State Fair is a great opportunity to get out to be able to educate the general public about what's happening in agriculture. But taking some of those programs, like Ohio Proud definitely has a presence at State Fair. You can find information here. So, as a Ohio Proud member, you could come and find out some information if you have questions about the program. What are some of the the perks of being in Ohio Proud and what that means. And so if you are a producer and you want to be a member of that or know what that means, you can come and talk to them here. They have a building on site for Ohio Department of Agriculture, and that's just one of the programs they talk about. Ohio Wines is a big portion of that too.
That's
So,
right.
so we can't forget about that. Just informing people about what Ohio Department of Agriculture does for you is very important, and that's what they're here to do.
Wow, Nick, did we forget anything? I don't know, but I'm sure you can get more information at the website. Let's give everybody that website address again.
fsr.osu.edu. You'll be able to find all the information soon about the program, our digital directory, so you can find a lot of different information there about presentations and things. Find our social media, and there's just a lot of ways to engage with us, Dan. So if you can think of it, we probably are out there on those platforms. So fsr.osu.edu is where it all starts, and you can find all the other resources from there.
And we'll have a link to that as well at our website at inohiocountry.com. The 64th Annual Farm Science Review, September 22nd, 23rd, and 24th at the beautiful Molly Caron Agricultural Center here in London, Ohio. We hope to see you there. And we'll be back with more In Ohio Country Today right after this.